Hello,
Welcome to
guys.
StellarTalks, people. This week, as you can see, we will be making the broadcast in English because we have a very special guest from Lebanon, Rita Najm. And everybody, welcome. Let's see who is here.
And let's just check if everything's all right with the stream.
Yeah.
Please let us know if
Hello,
something
John.
doesn't work. Hello, Jan.
John, hello. You're on mute.
Is he though?
Okay,
Yes.
now it should work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
Yeah,
You're okay.
good.
How are you?
How are you?
Great. Looking forward to the talk tonight.
Oh, Moves himself. Hello, Moves.
Hello. Welcome, man.
How are you?
We have Onur, who is a really close friend to me.
Okay.
Hello, Onur. Gökhan,
Welcome.
Mr. Gökhan also here.
Yes.
Hello.
Jada
Jada also here.
Hello.
Guys, all welcome.
Yes.
Welcome on
How
board.
are you? Oops. Sorry, it was me. I always forget doing that. So, how is everybody? Who else is here? Tarek, Wazi,
Tarek is also here. Hello, man.
Tarek here.
and most probably Rita's friend.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Who else is here? Only 8 people.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sedat
so-
Bilgebay also here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome. Move says, I'm fine, waiting for the special guests. Miss you guys.
Yeah.
Well, we miss you as well.
Meral is here. Hello, she's my wife. Hello.
Hello.
Mücahit also here. Hello.
Good evening,
Guys.
ladies and gentlemen. Sedat abi, hello. I hear some, I don't know where it comes from, but I hear some echo to come. Not sure.
I'm not sure. So
I
there's a
don't hear.
fan sound behind.
Yeah.
Maybe it's again from my computer.
I
don't
see
know.
Rita.
No.
She
Rita
shows.
is, yeah.
Okay, Rita. Okay, so I think let's start. Ömer Ata,
Ömer
hello.
is also here. All Star RFB. Hello.
Yes, Necati Demiral, good evening.
Evening.
I think we can start.
Hello, all going in. Come to the stream.
Demiral says stream is good. Thanks. Let's start.
Right.
Let's go.
Rita is getting impatient there. Okay. So I just would like to say maybe okay we can start. We can say that when we start. So let's watch the intro.
Okay, then. Right, welcome back.
Welcome back. And Rita, hello.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Welcome. Rita Najm. Najm means star. So our guest is very special with the surname with star. So
Yeah.
hello, Rita. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are okay. Thanks a
Great.
lot. So, of course, we will start with Rita, but maybe one of you guys can talk about stellar experiences, StellarTalks, and then we can start our talk. because we have very nice topics tonight with Rita.
Mm-hmm.
She prepared some amazing content. So I really cannot wait to talk about all those things.
Right, like just before we start, let's say about the end of 2019, Mustafa, Can, and me, we were thinking about the idea to put something unique on this. We wanted to want something unique, and we started Stellar Experiences. It started from an idea and just developed in a couple of weeks and months. And then we started giving astrophotography courses, which is fully dedicated to people who wants to learn astrophotography in every detail. And we do have online courses, like you can check the links in the description below from our website. And we have 3 upcoming courses in English, I believe, in a couple of weeks. Should be in 2 weeks, I guess. And we also have some Turkish courses as well, so you can check the websites and all the links in the description below.
Yeah.
You guys want to add something?
No. Can?
Can?
I think you summed it up quite well, but just want to add, like, we also started StellarTalks this year, beginning of January, and every week on Wednesday we are hosting StellarTalks with astrophotographers, scientists, and people in the astro space. So just keep on following us from social media and stay tuned.
Okay,
And
so let's go
if
back
you-
to... Yeah, sorry.
And if you don't want to miss out any content from us, just don't forget to like the videos and subscribe to our channel. And also, please check out our website. We like every week we put a new content on our blog page as well. So we have quite new content in our website as well. All right.
Okay, let's go back to Rita because she's getting bored, and she's right. Hello, Rita again. Welcome. Really good to have you because I have known you for a very long time. Actually, even with the naked singularity time. So we will discuss about that, of course. So how is everything with you, Rita? How has been the pandemic and everything, work, family, life?
Well, it's been hard, but work is good. Work is good. I settled a year ago in my new studio because now we're working online. So we're coping. But overall, pandemic hit us all very hard, because you can feel that this whole year we lost a whole year. It's like we've paused our lives. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's a new normal that you have to adapt to, and with the current rate of vaccination, I don't know how long it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
So we have to adapt. I don't know.
Exactly.
How about you guys? I don't know how do you feel about it?
It's not easy, like everywhere else. It's not easy. Like you said, 1 year is lost, another year is being lost. And
Well,
imagine every day we have lockdown between 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So it has been ages that I haven't been able to shoot anything. So it is getting on our nerves, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For us astrophotographers, it's the lockdown. It's been so hard, and all the measures that were taken and the curfew. That was very hard.
No.
We couldn't go out. Yeah, we're still in lockdown.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's hope for the best and fingers crossed to get away from this thing as soon as possible. And let's talk about what we want to talk about and what we like to talk about, astrophotography. Like I said, I have known you, I think, for 5 years with the
Has
naked
it
thing.
been that long?
I
Has
I
it been
think
that
I think so, because uh, since I started, when I started astrophotography, I started following people, and you were one of them. Maroon was one of them. There are some certain people I have been friends with for so long. I think at least it has been 3 years, at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And you cannot imagine how time flies, because this social media shows memories. There are things that I thought like it happened a few months ago. It has been 3 years already, so time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially after a certain age. uh, how did everything start with astrophotography, and when it started, Rita?
Well, actually, I had kind of a background in astronomy, an amateur astronomy. I was always fascinated with astronomy as a child, and I was very lucky that I had my dad, who was always pushing me and teaching me stuff. He has nothing to do with astronomy, but he was also equally fascinated. So yeah, so it sticks with you as a child, and you grow with it, and you start reading and doing research and like seeing documentaries and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
Maybe there
then
are times. Maybe there are times that you get away from it for a while, but then you go back to it.
yeah, definitely, it sticks with you. It doesn't
Yeah.
go away. So then I guess I got into observational activities, because I don't like to call it stargazing, really. So we started going on field trips and stuff like that. I had a friend, Khalil, who used to go together, and that's how I started going on field trips and just observing the night sky and stuff like that. And then I started the page, which
Yeah.
got me like technicalities and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
that's how I got
the-
to astrophotography.
The page is in Instagram, and its name is Naked Singularity. So
Yeah.
I will write it down for people who would like to follow.
Yeah, it's paused. It's paused.
Yeah, but it is still there.
Yeah, it is still there, and it has a really good content, really high quality content inside. So
No, I kept it. I made sure to keep it, because I know that some people still go there to check a reference or do research or check anything in general. And I still see people's comments and tags, and I know people still follow.
Yeah, I still tag.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. No, the page is still there. It's paused for a while. I want to figure out something, what to do with it, and because it was stagnating. It wasn't going anywhere the way it was. So I need to figure out how to elaborate it and like take it into a new direction. So we'll see about it. Well, I had some other things to focus on also, yani. So we'll see where it goes.
we are very excited to see the news.
Yeah, Maroon says TNS
The TNS shall
shall
return.
return.
Yeah.
Return of TNS.
Well,
Yeah.
I also saw the naked singularity when I first started astrophotography. Like I was really looking around to see stuff about it, and that was one of the first pages when I came across. But
Yeah.
till we talked last week, I had no idea that you were the person behind it.
Sorry,
I-
by the way, I wrote it wrong. So here it is. I just send the
Okay.
link again. There is the naked
yeah,
singularity.
okay.
So the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
one is correct.
Yeah, I made sure for the page to stay anonymous because I wanted to promote people more than myself. It was about sharing the knowledge and sharing people's work, not really promoting myself. And I wasn't. It wasn't about that. It wasn't about that. It was about the hobby and the work, the actual work. So yeah, people don't know. People don't know about the person behind it, about the founder, and it doesn't bother me. So it's fine. It's fine. I made a few friends, and that's what counts. But overall, I need to figure things out about the page, some stuff.
Yeah, but it actually served its aim.
Exactly.
It made us meet. Not only with you, but people from, for instance, Maroon and other people from all over the world. So it was serving its purpose. But I do understand it from time to time. These things gets tiring. Because it's like full-time job.
Full-time job.
Following I would say social media is a full-time job. So
Yeah, it is. And plus, social media isn't what it used to be when I first started the page. The algorithms keep changing and you don't understand what it's about anymore. When I first started the page, it was more like people express themselves and like in a genuine way in Instagram. Now it's more business oriented, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I really follow great business pages, but it's they're doing it in a very annoying way. I'm sounding like I don't know. Don't want to sound say something bad about it, but like you're looking in your news feed and like between each 2 or 3 posts there's a
There's an ad.
promoted post. And it's annoying because most of the time it's totally unrelated to what your feed, and so at the end you end up not even looking at your feed anymore. So I don't know. I mean, it's not enjoyable anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Totally agree with you, actually.
Well,
so when was the first time that you hold a camera and went up to somewhere dark and started shooting? And what did you shoot?
First time, I guess it was at the Proceeds. At the Proceeds. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the Proceeds. I just got my camera about two years ago. I got my camera, and I was it was Maroon and Karim who mostly helped me to pick the camera, and I really love them both. They helped me a lot, and it was when I first started the astrophotography, they were really great support. So I was with we were a community, a group within the community. We went up and during the Proceeds, and I started shooting. It was just casual test shots, but when I really first started, my first real astrophoto was with a group of really good friends of mine, Sari, Muhammad, and Karim. we went to Tanorin and shot did a road trip, and I shot the Pleiades for the first time. I was really proud of that shot. But now I look back and I think it's a bad shot. I wouldn't post it. I wouldn't post it now. So yeah, but I mean, you improve with time. You improve a lot. You improve your skills on the field. You improve your skills in post processing. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I think that's how it began.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once you started and a couple of years went back, it goes ahead, and when you look back to your photos, your first data, it looks like you had a lot to do with them.
Yeah.
Even right now, for example, let's say I took a photo last summer, I edited it, it was looking great at that time, but now when I go back and look at the photo, I say, okay, I have to process this again, like in a few months. Like you always reprocess your image because now you know better that it always keeps improving.
Yeah, the processing skills, they always improve. You always find new ways to process. Yeah, it's always like there's a photo that I've processed like I don't know 5-6 times, and like each time I process, I find new ways to do something like noise reduction. I've found like six different softwares, and like they've all given me different results, and like I reprocess each time with each time with different settings. So each time it gives you different results, and you keep improving with time. So at times I go back to previous shots that I've taken before, and I find that I can improve them, and I do, but it's too late to post them again. But you find a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. The techniques you use is changing all the time, and you're just putting something on the top of that, like what you learn, and you're putting something new, and you should add that also into the old data to make it even more detaily or better, or I don't know, better quality, to achieve a better quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. So let's get into the topics. Tonight we actually have 3 topics, and Rita has a great presentation at the back, and we will be talking about astronomy basics, planning and composition tips for the nightscapes, and also called as astrolandscapes.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, exactly. These are the basic tools that someone will need to get started in either observing or in astrophotography in general.
Okay, so let's start with astronomy basics, Rita. For beginners and amateurs, when they go, let's say, a little bit further from the cities and look at the sky, what do they see in the skies? So if we can go to the relevant slides, Okan.
Yeah.
So when they look at the skies, what do they see?
Yeah. Well, basically, they will see stars in general, and star clusters in particular, like the one shown in the image here is the M45, is the Pleiades, or commonly known as the Seven Sisters. It's a very popular winter target for astrophotographers. It's an open cluster. So you can also see planets. There are 5 visible to the naked eye, depending on the sky conditions.
Yeah, and also this eye condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see
So
them.
every year, the way I see Pleiades changes. When I started astronomy, I could see more stars, and now I just see it, fuzzy bulb of light as Pleiades. So it changes.
Yeah, I what I like to do, I like to go out in my backyard and take every once in a while a snapshot just to see how the Pleiades are affected by either light pollution, or sometimes I don't just take shots. I just like with my eyesight, or with the naked eye, just to see how badly because I find that Pleiades is a very good indicator that sometimes from light polluted area you can see them, but because now it's increasing, it's getting really bad, and at some point we couldn't see them anymore. But we'll talk about that later. On Sunday, I was taking a few test shots, and I was surprised that they were very, very apparent.
In your backyard, you mean?
Yeah, in my backyard, in
Cool.
Bortle 8 skies.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so let's. Where were we?
So we will start with
moon.
what we see in the night sky.
Yeah, the moon, depending on the phase, of course, the lunar phase. We can see meteors. Some they can be sporadic, and but most of the time they're in a meteor shower, and meteor showers happen when Earth crosses debris left over by a passing comet or asteroid. So when these debris enter Earth's atmosphere, they heat up, and you see them as an observer on Earth. You see them as streaking lights in the night sky, and you can see the Milky Way.
Of course.
Yeah.
One of the biggest photograph targets in the night sky, actually.
Yeah. And so the Milky Way, as an observer on Earth, you can see it like an arch, white, bright arch arching across the sky, and it's our home galaxy. It's where the sun resides. It's where hundreds of millions of other suns reside. That's more or less what we can see. Of course, there are other things, but most of them. This is most of them.
Right. So where are we located in the Milky Way, and how does that affect our night sky, the view of the light sky, actually?
Yeah. Okay, basically, the Milky Way is a spiral galaxy, and it's composed of major and minor spiral arms. The solar system, the solar system is located about 2/3 its distance from the center. So when Earth orbits around the sun, as the year it's passing along the year, you have different views of these spiral arms. In the summer, you can see the Sagittarius arm, because it's facing the Earth is facing the galactic center. Yeah, the galactic center. And so that's why you see a very bright Milky Way. But during the winter, you're facing the Perseus arm, so that's why you're seeing the dimmer parts of the Milky Way.
It's a bit further than us. That's why we see them a bit more dimmer, right?
It's because you're not looking at the brighter parts.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in summer, you're looking at the galactic center, which is very crowded with stars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there's an accumulation of dust lanes that are blocking the view. So you have a very compacted view of the galaxy. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're looking at the outer arm, it's very dim and scattered. They are very dim and scattered. So you will see less of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if we talk about the Polaris axis tilt effect Earth, and how do we use Polaris, the North Star,
Actually,
as astrophotographers?
Yeah, actually, Earth is tilted about. The sun is tilted about 60 degrees to the galactic plane, and Earth itself is tilted about 23 degrees to the solar system. So we can see solar system, or the ecliptic, and the ecliptic is actually the plane of the solar system, or what it takes its name from the fact that that's where eclipses occur. And what an observer on Earth sees is it's as the path of the sun across the sky, and you can see that in the photo here. You can see Jupiter, because it's the plane of the solar system, so that's where planets are, and you can see the planets Jupiter and Saturn along the ecliptic line. That's the dotted orange line. And that photo was taken in Beirut, or actually in Lebanon. And Lebanon is at a latitude of 33, plus 33. And what a latitude mean, actually, latitude is the north and south coordinate south of the equator. And longitude is the east and west coordinate. If you project that system into space, you get the declination that is comparable to the latitude, and the right ascension that is comparable to the longitude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you want to take Polaris, okay, which is the northern pole star, it has a declination of 90. So at the north pole, or the polar cap, you will see it right overhead. Okay.
Yeah, actually, where how Polaris is about your from your horizon, the degree of Polaris also shows your latitude. Actually,
yeah, it does. It shows your latitude. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when you get closer to North Pole, it goes higher on the sky. When you get far away from North Pole, it goes lower on the
horizon, at the
horizon.
the equator. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even when I was in Finland, and I'm sure people from those places, or people who have been to there, if they are using equatorial mounts, they have to modify their mounts so that they can make polar alignment. Because, for instance, I think it was 65 in Finland, where I was. So you have to make your polar alignment, and you have to put your mount up at 65 degrees. So they have to modify to do that, to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whenever we talk about, especially declination, uh, stuff. Something comes to my mind. You know, all these photos you see on the internet about like the aurora borealis above the pyramids, or like the Magellanic clouds. You know, above I don't know, Paris or something. And you know that if someone really knows like the coordinates or the declination of the right objects, you know that you know these things cannot be this way, because um, you know, you can tell it's a fake, because an aurora can never happen in Egypt, or you can never see the Magellanic clouds from Paris from this latitude. So they're really funny, because they I mean, people believe them. People believe these photos, and it removes any value that authentic photos really have. And you know, it's a problem. It's I don't know. I mean, fake photos are everywhere now, and you can't do anything about them. You can't do anything about them. And
Yeah,
I mean, this is off topic, but it came to my mind when you were talking about declination.
yeah, people think about some of the composites they do. They think about it as a way of art, I believe. So they're like merging a couple of things from different places to make an art, but it's not a photograph at the end. So it's kind of a collage, like kind of a composite that brings and merges a couple of things together. So, well, we can't say them as a photographer, I believe.
No, not as a photographer, yeah, but they're labeling it. They're labeling it as art, but I mean, no, of course it's not art.
And it can also confuse people. That's the problem. Like,
Yeah, it's misleading. Yes, it's misleading. Yeah.
yeah, it's misleading. Yeah, that's the correct word, actually.
And you look like the bully if you're saying anything. You look like the bad guy. I mean, it's art. No, we cannot say anything. Yeah.
True story.
If they like okay, publicize this as an art, that's not a big deal, but most of them consider it a photo, and they don't tell the truth behind it. So that's the problem, I think.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's misleading.
Yeah, but yeah, you can't stop it. I mean, it's gonna keep on going. So
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Back to the slide. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Earth tilts about 23 degrees. That's what causes the seasons, because one hemisphere will be more exposed to the sun than the other. That's during
Exactly.
that and vice versa for the winter. At the equinoxes, both hemispheres receive the same amount of sunlight. Now,
Mhm.
Now, the polar axis, we're saying if it's that it's inclined, but as astrophotographers, we can really perceive that axis when we point our cameras up towards Polaris and leave the shutter open, and or take multiple exposures and stack them, and that's how you get star trails. And these I don't know. I feel that these are the most expressive ways of seeing the you know, rotation of Earth around its axis.
Yeah.
And Yeah. Since this axis is tilted, um, and Earth, it wobbles. It doesn't only rotate about this axis once every 24 hours. It also slowly wobbles around its perpendicular axis. Very slow wobble once every 26,000 years. And as it does, that polar axis that you see in red there, it will create a virtual circle in the star field, and as it does, any bright star that it coincides with, that star will be the polar star by that time. Now it's Polaris. Now that star is Polaris. But the next pole star will be Arrai in Cepheus, and the star that the previous star was Ta'ban in the constellation Draco at during the pyramids, during the time of the pyramids, about 5,000 years ago, minus 3,000.
Thanks a lot for the explanation.
Yeah.
So
Actually, we do have a
Like-
related question with that. So, Chirag Opreti, please forgive me if I'm misreading that.
No, that's it.
Yeah, okay. Has Polaris always been our North Star?
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. The previous North Star was Ta'ban, as I was saying. It was Ta'ban at the time of the pyramids. That's what I was just saying. Because, as I said, Earth wobbles, and that polar axis, it will move, it will rotate, it will complete a full revolution every 26,000 years. So that that axis, it will be moving along the star field, okay, and any star that will coincide with that axis, it will coincide with any star. It might be faint or it might be bright, but usually when it's a faint star, you will not relate to it. But when it's a bright star, it's easily visible, so you can use it for navigation, or you can use it to locate yourself. So that will be the pole star at the current time. Now at 2000 at 2000 at the current time 2020 يعني, it's Polaris. It happens to be Polaris. But the next pole star I think in another 2,000 years will be Arrai. That's what I was saying. Arrai, another star in the constellation Cepheus.
Exactly. So like the pole star is not constant till eternity. Like it changes because everything is also moving.
They constantly change. They change, but how do I say this? They change. They it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Yeah. At 26,000 years, it will be Polaris again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about. By the way, do we have another question? Let me check. No, not now. Like, what about constellations? What are they, and why do we see Western constellations with Arabic star names? Like, what's the story behind this?
Yeah. Okay. Well, constellations are basically groups of stars that occupy a certain area in the night sky, and that have a specific pattern that's proper to every culture. And so what happened is that ancient astronomers connected like these light dots in the sky and projected their own beliefs and culture onto them. That's why each culture had its own star lore. Now, nowadays, we adopt 88 constellations. We formally adopt 88 constellations, 48 of which are classical Greek. These constellations were recorded by Ptolemy. What happened later was that the Western culture, the Western world went into decline because of the Dark Ages and so on. And that information and all that knowledge was taken by the Arabs and preserved and elaborated. And these constellations and this star lore was incorporated or somehow merged and adapted with their own indigenous vernacular star lore, the Arabs. So at the end, you get this hybrid cocktail of constellations, of Western constellations with Arabic star names, and that was later Latinized. It was later Latinized during the Renaissance upon several stages, and is now currently recognized by the IAU. I think they officially renamed them in 2017 or 18. I can't remember. I can't remember correctly. So yeah. But you know, for us, I mean, as Arabs, we have that connection with the night sky because
Exactly.
because every time we look up, we can understand what's what we're seeing. I have this example that I always talk about. It's the star Fomalhaut. And Fomalhaut was the first star to have a confirmed or a suspected exoplanet. It was the first star, Fomalhaut B, the exoplanet. And for a Westerner, Fomalhaut, we wouldn't even understand, or he wouldn't even relate to what Fomalhaut. It would be totally.
Not relevant.
Yeah, okay. But an Arab he would understand, because what actually Fomalhaut is Fomalhut, because Fomalhaut is Alpha Piscis Austrinus, which is the brightest star in the constellation of the southern fish, and Fomalhut means mouth of the fish. So it's all related, it's all connected, and I think that as Arabs and as astrophotography, I don't know, but we should be able to revive this heritage. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it.
Exactly. It's worth keeping the heritage. You see.
Yeah.
So let's check the chat now. Maroon says some polar scopes have relative positions to Polaris for over 5 years from now. And Chirag says, thanks Rita and the moderator. Great explanation and such an awesome phenomenon to be aware of. Tayfun says, selam arkadaşlar, which means selam friends. Hi friends. And Chirag says, thanks to Maroon. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to write it.
By the way, I have one reminder to you guys, please don't forget to take any selfies or photos while we are watching the stream, and put it on social media by tagging us. We will just type the details and hashtags in the live chat. This really helps the stream to spread out around it, and this really helps us to develop, and hope you guys do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So the next question is, so there are things called constellation and asterisms, and people usually get confused by them. So what are actually constellations, and what's the difference between them? What are the asterisms, constellations, and what's the difference between them?
Okay. Constellations have very well defined and formally recognized boundaries. Asterisms are more like commonly known groupments of stars that may belong or may not belong to the same constellation, but they form an easily recognizable pattern in the night sky, and that will help you locate yourself in the sky. Some example of asterisms is like the Big Dipper in the photo. You can see that as the photo on the left exactly. Now the Big Dipper is the yellow like casserole, I call it, and the constellation is the green outline. It's in Ursa Major. The Big Dipper is in Ursa Major, so it's an asterism that belongs to a constellation. Another example of that is like the teapot in Sagittarius, or the Southern Cross or the Northern Cross. You can have the fishhook in Scorpius or the sickle in Leo, and so on. They go on forever. An example of asterism that belongs to different constellations are the summer and the winter triangles, the winter hexagon. There's the spring triangle. So it's just a way of familiarizing yourself with the sky. That's what this is what it is mostly.
Can we say that asterisms are usually the easily recognizable group of stars in the night sky?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
All right then. So shall we go for the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Mustafa.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm back. So I was on writing stuff in chat, so that's why I was not being shown.
We missed you.
Thanks. And also, I have to leave words to my friends from time to time. So, when you start astrophotography or astronomy, it's one of the trickiest thing is to navigate yourself in the sky, right? So, of course, we use some techniques and methods, and mostly like navigating in the surface of Earth. We use places that we are familiar of. For instance, you think, I remember I turned from this building right, and I went to this way and stuff like that. So how do we navigate the night sky? Because, of course, it changes a little from for the a place you are at. For instance, the night sky in Lebanon and night sky in Turkey are not exactly the same. Of course, it also changes from time to time. So how do we navigate?
Okay. Basically, the easiest way to navigate the night sky is to use those asterisms that I talked about earlier, and use these pointer stars, the brightest stars in these asterisms, because they're bright stars to begin with, and use them as pointer stars to locate the nearby constellations. And the easiest and the most popular tool of those is the Big Dipper that I showed earlier.
Yeah.
So the Big Dipper, it's like let's say to locate Polaris, which is the North Star that I talked about earlier. To locate Polaris, you need to extend the first two stars from the Dipper, Merak and Dubba.
Yeah.
And they extend
They're
the
also in Arabic.
Yeah. The Dipper is called the Arabic bear, by the way, because
Yeah.
you can see the anatomy of the bear by the name, by the nomination of the stars.
Mhm.
So you extend that line outward, and you just locate Polaris, and so on with the rest of the spring constellation. This is the spring sky. So so basically, that's how you navigate. You can locate also Ta'ban, which was the I talked about it, the former pole star, Arcturus and Spica and Regulus in Leo. By using also the pointer stars in the Dipper.
Yeah, this is actually not so hard when you are doing with it with naked eye, because we have a very wide field of view. But for instance, I started, astronomical observations with a Dobsonian telescope. So when you are looking at a Dobsonian telescope, you normally start with a wider angle eyepiece. Then once you find your object, you go to narrower fields. Like you said, we use the stars that we know where they are to find other things, and we call this star hopping, actually, right?
Yeah.
In next slide, slide number 10, there's also another example of using a very well-known constellation. Here.
Yeah, that's for the winter skies, because these constellations are called the winter hexagon. It's formed by the brightest stars in the winter sky, and you can use the constellation Orion, the pointer stars, to locate these these stars in the winter hexagon. So if you want to locate Sirius, which is the brightest star in the night sky, all you have to do is use the Orion's belt, which is another asterism, and it's formed by the three stars, An-Nitaq, An-Nilam, and Miltaka, and you just project that line that connects them outward, and it reaches Sirius, which is the brightest
star.
The brightest star. And sorry. And so you do the same for the rest of the constellation. You have Procyon, Castor and Pollux, Aldebaran, and Capella.
Mm-hmm. There is also a winter triangle here, right? There is winter hexagon and winter triangle, actually.
Yeah. The hexagon actually is an asterism, and the triangle is another asterism as well. The triangle is formed by Procyon,
Sirius, and
Sirius
Betelgeuse.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, now thinking, we forgot the summer triangle and navigating the summer sky for Milky Way. But you can explain it with using Cygnus, how we can you can explain by words, Rita. What is the summer triangle and how can we navigate in summer sky to find Milky Way core and stuff, etc.
Yeah, the summer triangle is formed by three stars. They are, they are Deneb in the constellation Cygnus,
Which means tail.
Which means the tail of the chicken or the swan, because in Arabic it's a chicken actually, and or a goose, I don't know. There's Altair in Aquila, the star Altair. In Arabic it's actually An-Nisr al-Ta'ir, that's why it's Altair. And there's also Vega in Lyra, or Lyra, I don't know how they pronounce it. So
it is Greek, by the way. Lyra is an instrument.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a harp. And Vega is a Nasr al-Waqi'. It's a mistranslation of Waqi'. That's the summer triangle.
Yeah. And how can we find Milky Way core using mostly you can use Cygnus, the Deneb, Sutter, and Albreo. If you follow that line, it goes directly to
the southern. The Southern Cross. I didn't annotate it. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't trace the constellation. I don't know if you have another photo here. The Southern Cross is actually an asterism too about tracing the anatomy of the swan, and the swan is composed by it's a cross, and it's composed by like 3 stars or 4 stars. I don't know. Anyway, there's Deneb, which is the tail. There's Jinah, which is the wing at the and there's Sadr, which is the
in the middle.
In the heart. The other star doesn't have a name related. It's Fawaris. I don't know why it's called that way. And the Lubeck.
Head of the one. Let's say.
Yeah.
There's Albreo, which is a very famous.
It's a very
double star.
It's a very pretty double star, actually. Yeah. And so following it, you can get to the Milky Way core.
Yeah, actually, it is on the line of Milky Way. These 3 stars. Deneb, Sadr, and Albreo. Also, there is another asterism at Sagittarius constellation, which is the kettle.
The teapot. Yeah, exactly.
The teapot. It actually shows the center of the galaxy.
Yes, exactly. I think it's Caus. I can't remember the star's name.
Caus Australis.
Caus Australis. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's where
the T comes. T comes out. It shows right Sagittarius A, actually the massive black hole. Where the massive black hole right in the center of our galaxy. It shows that direction. And of course, it depending on where you are on Earth. For instance, in Lebanon, you see that higher on the horizon than us, for instance. If you go further north, you will see lower.
Yes, exactly. And if you go more to the south, the higher it will be, the higher
Yeah.
it will look. If
Yeah.
you go to minus 33 declination, the Milky Way core will be like right overhead because it has a declination of minus 33.
Yeah.
Sagittarius, yeah.
Yeah. So we can please ask your questions about all these things. We would love to answer. Of course, Rita would love to answer. And I think the last thing we would talk about is slide number 11. This is a very touchy, actually,
Very sensitive
how would
topic.
yeah, very sensitive topic.
Yeah, for some of us.
Yeah,
We can forget about it if you don't like.
No, it's all good.
It's okay. So there's actually the zodiac family is used for astronomy too, for to navigate in the sky, because there are 13 constellations in the zodiac. But some people use this for bad reasons, and that is astrology. So, but let's try not to push that borders a lot. But what is zodiac family, Rita?
Okay. The zodiac family is a family of 13 constellations that happen to lie on the ecliptic. That's by definition the zodiac the zodiac family of constellations. But what astrologers they claim that astrology is based on science or scientific facts, but I mean, there's no proof. There's no scientific proof that you can predict your future based on your star sign, because it's not correct. It's based on incorrect facts. They believe that there are 12 signs where we're just seeing in the photo that there are 13 constellations, not 12 signs. What they did, when astrology was established, like in antiquity, astrologers evened out that number. They didn't like the odd numbers like 13. They and plus the boundaries weren't established by them. They were later established. They weren't official constellation boundaries. So they considered like 12 signs of the zodiac, and they assimilated each sign for a month of the year, and disregarding totally that these constellations or signs have different sizes in the sky. So it doesn't mean if you they will overlap, because like Virgo is the second biggest constellation in the night sky, whereas Scorpius is like
the largest.
Earth will travel through Scorpius in like 28 days, I think. So the timing, I mean, they will overlap. It doesn't work to assign equal constellations with months. So.
And apart from that, the idea of astrology says that when these constellations behind the sun, the day you were born, you're affected by those constellations. So physically, it is not possible to be affected by those stars or anything that far. When you think that the gravity is reverse proportional of square of distance. So it doesn't make any sense.
I'm not even going there. I'm not even going there.
Yeah.
I'm just staying in the basics, yani, of the whole story. There's yeah, I mean, let's go back to precession. Let's go back to precession that I explained earlier. The wobble of the Earth and how it affects the pole stars. So, I mean, it appears that the whole sky has shifted. So yeah, so it's overlapping even more. You know that the chart that I am showing in the first photo. Yeah, I mean it shows how the constellations are overlapping with the signs. So it's like if you're like an Aquarius now, if you used to be an Aquarius, you're actually now a Capricornus. You know, so yeah, it's a lie. They've been feeding people lies, and I didn't do that chart so that people can assimilate their new sign.
Yeah, but you know what they say, Rita. The only thing that doesn't change the change itself.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a sensitive topic. I know,
Yeah.
but you know, I mean, it's $1 billion industry. These people have been making money out of people. I don't want to say ignorance. I mean, it's valid. People don't know. People don't know. You know, so I don't know.
Okay.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, that much. Yeah, that's enough. So there is zodiac family. 13 constellations, and we love all those constellations. They are beautiful, but in terms of astronomy, let's say, and then we can go directly to the second part of our tonight's broadcast. So I'm sure as people watching us have heard how important planning is for astrophotography. And, we have to spend quality time planning our astrophotography sessions, right, Rita? Because before you go out, you have to finish your planning and, what you're going to shoot, how you will shoot, which equipment you will use, and stuff like that. Before you stepping out, you have to finish all those things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially if you're off to a new location and that you've never been in, you need to. I think you need to do a lot of research. I think you need to do a lot of research to know like the situation the location you're going to well, I mean there are a lot of factors that you need to consider before taking an astro trip.
Not only in terms of astrophotography, also when you're going out stargazing or astronomy observing, sky observing, you need to have a good planning before you're going out, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, sorry.
Like there, I mean, there is no time to lose when you're out in the field, because like if you're not well planned, then you're losing time in the field, and you might not be able to observe the objects that you wanted to observe, right? Like that's the
I mean, yes. You should know before you're going exactly what you need to do, what objects, what your targets are, what equipment you need to take. There are many factors. Really, there are many factors. You need to think about the safety you know, uh, I mean, in terms of preparation, the cars, you need to think about the batteries, your equipment, you know, lots of things, lots of things.
Yeah, many parameters to think about when you're out there.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think I mean the best part is to observe the night sky. You know, um, uh, you should before even holding a camera, I think you should have a basic knowledge of what is in the sky. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Know what you're shoot. No, I mean, know what you want to shoot. What like notice patterns. Notice new objects that are around. Sometimes you're in a new location, like in a darker location, and you start seeing things that you hadn't noticed before. Yeah, I mean, no, it's very important to observe the sky because you know sometimes people get caught up with an like a Milky Way season, the first Milky Way, or like the first Orion, because you know it's winter time or something. But they forget like a very interesting star cluster or another target, you know, at the opposite side of the sky or something. So the sky is very generous, you know. You should really observe, and there are apps that can assist you on the field, and that is one of them. A star tracker app. So if you're you lose like yourself or something, and you need to know what a deep sky object is. You don't know it, or like a star, you don't know what it is. You can track it with the application. And you know one. Yeah, these the photos that I featured. One of them is a spring target. It's the Coma cluster. Um, yeah, that one. It's the Coma cluster. And you know, at that time it was the I think it was in May or in April. I can't remember. And you know, we were hyping about the Milky Way and shooting the Milky Way. It was very early and stuff. And I noticed, and I had noticed it before, but I didn't have the chance to shoot it. So you know, I forgot about the Milky Way, and I ran to shoot the cluster, but. But then no, of course I shoot both, but I kept it in mind that I wanted to shoot it. And the same goes for the Alpha Persei cluster. It's often overlooked because there is the Pleiades and the Hyades cluster really close by, and so people, you know, they often overlook it. But I think it's a very interesting target, and you know, something that people should think about a bit more.
Totally agreed with you. Yeah. Like it's important to get familiar with the night sky and also the clusters.
Yeah. I mean, not just clusters, any target, any target.
Yeah.
Well, it,
Depends also on where you live, which region.
Yeah.
it's also good to know that the night sky is not limited with the Orion and the Milky Way itself. So we have a lot of things going on around, and a lot of different objects to pick from and photograph or observe. So a lot of variety. As we know, as we start to learn these things, and we have different experiences with them as well, right?
That's what I was getting at.
Mhm.
That's what I was getting at. I mean, like, look further than the the obvious targets. Don't go with the flow. Just forget what everyone else is doing and just I mean, explore the night sky. Just I don't know what else to say really.
Yeah, well, the objects we were talking about, like the Milky Way and Orion, they have a huge field of view in the sky, so they are probably, because of that, they are the most photographed object. But as they have different objects to observe, photograph, and experience, once we get started to photograph these things, I think people will learn and try to photograph them as well, and try to observe them and try to learn about them as well. So it's kind of a learning path, starts from there and goes to the other objects, and then goes to the deeper and deeper, I believe.
Yeah, it does. You start learning with the obvious targets, the most targets, and then you expand a bit your skills and everything that you've learned. You expand it to cover other targets and other areas in the sky. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. For sure.
All right, so let's talk about picking a target, if you're okay with that. All right.
Yeah.
So let's start with the most obvious and very well known one, the Milky Way core.
Yeah. Okay, but in general, when you want to pick a target, you need to know when it is visible. Okay, I mean, you need to know when it's time to shoot it. Like, you can't shoot the Pleiades in June, or you cannot shoot the Milky Way core in December. I mean, depending on your latitude. I'm talking about Beirut. So. So you cannot do that. So if you study your target and you research it, you might also end up with very interesting you start to find out like for the Milky Way, you start noticing that it's rich in hydrogen alpha objects. And you might want to annotate them and learn about them, and so if you have these, you might want to change like your concept of, instead of taking like a wide field, you might want to take a deep field or a deepscape. So yeah, I mean, you need to learn about your target. Like the Milky Way, we start seeing it in Lebanon as early as February, and the Milky Way season lasts till late October. But I mean, to really shoot it, the ideal time would be from late May to August, because it would be high enough in the sky to optimal. That would be optimal to shoot. But in June and July, it would be visible all
night
during the night. Yeah, all night long. So yeah, I mean, you need to know what you want to shoot, when it is visible, and that will what's in it. That information will help you. I mean, it will help you like I don't know what to say. I mean, that would give you a clear picture of how your photo is gonna look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We have a question from Ömer. He's asking that, do you feel like do you get lost when you are in the southern hemisphere?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never been to the southern
You've
hemisphere.
never been to there.
Yeah, no, I haven't been there. But I believe that there are, since there is no pole star in the southern hemisphere, I think this is what he's referring to, a pole star, because there is none.
Yeah.
There are ways to find to find the true south,
Yeah.
but there are pointer stars to locate the south. I'm not sure about
Well,
how, or because I've never been there.
well.
But if he wants, Maroon can help him. He can ask Maroon.
I can help him as well. So we have
I've been there. Yeah, right.
we have constellation Octanis in southern hemisphere, and a really faint star which is called Sigma Octanis is, it's not the true south, but it is referred to be the south star, and you do your polar alignment while you are doing a polar alignment with a sky tracker or anything else. You take that as a measure of the southern pole, and you do your alignment with that. And but the Octans is a small, like, it is noticeable, but Sigma Octanis is like not a really noticeable faint star. Yeah.
It's faint. Yeah, it's a very faint star.
Okay. By the way, can I interfere
Yeah,
here?
sure.
I'm looking at Twitter from time to time. There are some friends. They are tagging us with Stellar Experiences hashtag and Stellar XPR. Do you have Twitter, Rita?
Do I have? Sorry, what?
Twitter. The social media.
No.
No. Okay. Please don't.
Okay,
Sorry?
yeah, Twitter. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is your Twitter account? So let's also tag you with that, because we do something like this. People take selfies and
I'm not sure
they.
what my Twitter account is. Let me.
You're not sure. By the way, I was checking, and there is our friend Typhoon Bash is watching us, and he is working on a target, post processing it on PixInsight. So I like that photo really. When he finishes, he will tag us with the photo. So please don't forget to take your selfie with us and put it on Twitter. That's really something we like. And here now we also have another one. So please do that. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Where are we? Yeah, so here we can see the teapot that we were talking about. Okan, if you can show it on, the teapot. So this is this is something that you cannot miss if you're at a dark place, right, Rita? I mean, you can see the teapot very obviously.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, yeah, you might say that. Yeah, you might say that.
Okay.
Yeah, it is an aster. It is bright, but I mean, not as bright as other asterisms. But it's bright enough that you can locate the Milky Way core. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And if you're at a dark enough place, you will be seeing Milky Way anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this is one target that you can pick during the summer. Is there anything that you want to say about this? Because within the Milky Way, there are some other targets. Of course, you can shoot them while you are taking wide field astrophotography, but also you can go for deeper astrophotography. There are some nebulae within the Milky Way and just above Milky Way core, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. Do you want to talk about deep sky or?
No. Just let's continue with the with your topics. But what I was saying that even if you are taking Milky Way shots, you will see those nebulae depending on your focal length, actually.
Yeah, of course. If you're taking a wide with a wide angle, you're gonna see them as like really little dots. They're not gonna be like very detailed, but the wider, the narrower your angle, or the longer your focal length, the larger they're going to appear, and you're gonna see all these reds glowing, like the one you're seeing, like, yeah, in the deep scale. And so you're gonna start appreciating those focal lengths even more. I used to find them very weird, because they're not they're not natural to the eye, but your eyes can see, I think, like 35 millimeters. I think that's the. I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It's somewhere between 35 to 50 millimeters.
But
Yeah.
it's
So
the
like it
perspective
seems
of
like this.
that, I guess.
Yeah, not the
Not the
angle,
angle,
not the
yeah.
angle.
Yeah. So when you see that, I mean, it starts. I don't know. I used to find them unnatural, but when you start taking seeing these these nebulae, and they're glowing in your sky, and you start appreciating them even more. So yeah. I mean, no, I find them interesting. I find these images interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go on with the next slide. That was for summer sky. So of course we have lots of beautiful constellations, asterisms, and deep sky objects for winter also. So we are looking one of the most famous one. I'm sure all astrophotographers go to this area over and over, taking shots of this area all the time. So here we are seeing Orion constellation and Orion Nebula. So what would you say about this?
As you said, during the summer we usually shoot the Milky Way, but during winter, everyone tends to shoot Orion, mainly because it's really rich in deep sky objects, and there's the Orion molecular cloud complex. I thought I wanted to feature two of Maroon's images, because I thought he did a wonderful job, in the first image, capturing all these reds, and the dimmer parts of the Milky Way.
Yeah.
And at right, the Orion Nebula M42, it was captured under like really heavy light pollution. So So
this area is also very near to us because in the Milky Way, in one of your first slides, you were talking about where we are. We are very close actually to this area because we are also in the Orion spur in the Milky Way galaxy. So Orion Nebula is not far from 1500 light years from us. So in the perspective of astronomy, it is quite close actually. We're in the same neighborhood.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We are, and it makes it like relatable. It's the closest, I think, stellar nursery to the solar system.
Yeah.
And it's very rich in deep sky and a variety of deep sky objects and diffuse nebula in reflection nebula.
Emission nebula. For instance, there is a flame nebula, which is a reflection nebula. Just by that, there is
the Witch Head.
It is again reflection nebula. There is the famous Horse Head.
The Dark Nebula, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There is Running Man and Orion Nebula. And they are really, really big. Orion Nebula is the one that you can see naked eye, one of the rarest nebula that you can see with the naked eye, actually.
From light polluted areas.
Even.
No, but that's amazing because you can see it not just like not just like a dot or a star. You can see like a fuzzy object. So you can tell that is a different.
That is not a star. Yeah.
Yeah, that is not a star. So that's like really interesting, and to be able to capture it like by camera and by by a lens with a telescope. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And you don't have chance to miss it. It is so distinguishable in the night sky that you can see the Orion constellation and the sword of Orion, which actually shows the Orion Nebula. So you cannot miss it.
No, yeah, exactly. I think Orion as a whole is a very interesting constellation, and it's always fascinated people, not just because of the richness of the deep sky objects, but because of also the whole story behind it, and it has this mythical, or I don't this like I don't know, this feel to it. So it has a lot of I just can't find the words in English, but yeah, it's one of the most popular targets, Orion, and I really like this photo because it's he did a panel to show the winter hexagon because it's a very large area in the sky. He has to do a panel or shoot it with a fisheye. So it was hard to shoot because I remember because I was with him that night, and he had to take he stayed in the snow for so long. We were a group, I think, that back then. So
it's a beautiful one. Yeah.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It got featured. It got featured a lot in Lebanon, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue.
So about the gear.
Yeah.
Well, as we can see, like the difference between the stock camera and also modded camera. Like right now, you use modded camera, or can you tell us about your gear?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look. depending on your target, knowing your target, if you know what you're gonna shoot, that directly impacts the gear you're gonna use. Because if you're gonna shoot a target that's rich with the hydrogen alpha, you're gonna use a modified camera. But if you're gonna shoot a star cluster with a reflection nebula or something, you might as well use a stock camera and keep your modified camera busy shooting another target. So yeah, I mean, I personally, I have both. I have stock camera and I have a modified camera. So yeah, I use both. I use the modified camera for shooting, but I use the modified camera a lot more now, because when you have a modified camera, you start knowing the value when you see all these reds from the hydrogen alpha regions.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to modify my other camera, but I haven't had the chance. It's still on my mind. Yeah, I'm still willing to do that.
I mean, there is a difference. Like you get to see more of
Yeah.
the reds and the nebulas, so
Yeah.
it's worth it actually.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, I got the modified camera because I wanted these reds. What happens with a modified camera is you remove the color blocking filter that also blocks the hydrogen alpha. That's why
Yeah.
it becomes more sensitive to these emissions. And that's what you want to capture in the night sky. These nebulae, emission nebula, they emit they emit hydrogen alpha when they are ionized by nearby stars. So that's what we are looking to capture as astrophotographers when we're looking at the Milky Way or any region that's rich in hydrogen alpha, or like the ones, the photo that I showed earlier, Maroon's photo. So when you have targets such as these, it's of course you're gonna use a modified camera, and if you don't have a modified camera, you're gonna modify your camera. So
Sure.
yeah, if you can do it, yeah, why not? So yeah, that's basically it. Now, if regarding the lenses, it's you know you need to experiment with your lenses and knowing what. Yeah, I mean, know if you already know what you're gonna shoot, and you know your focal length. I mean, what you have, what lenses you have. You already have like uh, an idea of how your photo is gonna look like. I mean, if you wanna shoot Orion with a foreground, you're gonna use like a wide field, but the photo I'm showing, the top right photo, it's with a 50 millimeter on a crop. I have a crop sensor, so it barely fits, you know. So you have to experiment with your lenses to know, and at the end, you know, you end up knowing, you will know your lenses, and you won't, and you know there are a limited amount of targets, so you will end up, you know, memorizing everything that fits in your frame, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So it's personal preference also, like yeah.
It's not really personal preference. I mean, uh, it's depending on the photo you want to take. If you want to take a deep sleep, you're gonna use
I
like
mean, in that sense, yeah, it depends on what you want to take. Like it's preference.
That's gonna indicate what gear you're gonna choose, what lens you're gonna. Yeah, yes, definitely.
So next one, Okan, please. Lunar cycle.
Yeah.
We all love the moon, so.
We don't like, look, the moon is a very pretty, beautiful object to look at. And even to
Exactly.
shoot, if you're shooting it as a target itself. But if you're not shooting it, the moon, yeah, as a target, it's a source of light pollution. Like it or not, it's a source of light pollution. So the ideal time to shoot when when you don't want to get disrupted by the moon is during a new moon phase, or like a few days before or after. That's the ideal time, because there wouldn't be any source of light pollution, like annoying you or glaring out your sky. And I think that up to like 30, no, not 30, 25 to 30% moon is still acceptable, because it will light your foreground like in a beautiful way, but it will still have an acceptable sky without it washing out all the faint nebula and stars and all of that. And you will still have a decent sky, but beyond that, everything will be over glared. You won't see anything anymore. So
Exactly.
landscapers don't care about that. Some landscapers, I mean, I don't mean astrophotographers, I mean as landscape photographers, they don't care about that. They appreciate the lighting in the scene, but as astrophotographers, we really look for the time where there is the least moon possible. So
Darkest night.
Yeah, and especially when you're going to a location where there is already light pollution, you don't need an extra source of light pollution. So I guess the ideal time is to shoot when there is no moon at all.
Mm-hmm. Totally, yeah. Thanks. Computer and phone apps, like let's talk about, like, do you use any apps, or which ones do you use?
Yeah, I do use apps. Yeah. Okay, on phone apps, I use Planet Pro and Sky Portal, and I really think that these two complement each other really nicely. Planet Pro, it helps photographers plan. It helps you plan your photo as a photographer, because it has all these options of the calendar, the map, the hybrid map, and you have this extra layer for light pollution, and the orientation. You can set the orientation of your camera, and if you already know the spot, so you can already have an idea of how your image is going to turn out. And you have the viewfinder. You can set the viewfinder for your camera. So I really like Planet Pro because it has so many options. And with Sky Portal, that you can set the date with Sky Portal, and it will give you a really good idea of how the sky is going to look at that specific time. So it's really for me, I only need these two. As phone apps, I don't think I need any more. But Stellarium on your PC, I did use it. I used it before more than I use it now. I used it before because there's this option where you can fill your equipment specs, and you can see your target through the lens. so you can, see how to fit it in your frame and so on. So I used to I used it before, but now that I'm familiar with my equipment even more, and there aren't so many you know targets for landscapers. It's not like for deep sky photographers um, that will need these
Software.
yeah, so I don't use it as much. Planet Pro and Sky Portal are enough for me. There is PhotoPills, but I've never tried it, to be honest. I never tried PhotoPills. Have you tried
I
it?
also don't use it. No, like I installed it, but I'm not using it.
Well, I have used it a couple of times actually. When it was cheap, I bought it once and I used it a couple of times, but I find that quite limited when it comes to planning. So I prefer to do it with the Stellarium more in the
Yeah.
in the desktop in a computer. So because you don't have the full sky map loaded into Photopills, so you do have the Milky Way line, Milky Way arch within a dome, and you just see that from there. And you do also have the ability to planning moonshots and sunsets and sunshots as well. But when it comes to, let's say, constellations, asterisms, or any other star clusters, it is very limited. So that's why I prefer to use Stellarium more.
But don't you think that with do you still need that? I mean, do you still need the reference for as the constellations and all that as a reference?
No, not actually, but it also gives me the exact frame that I would like to capture and the exact degree when it comes to the compass marks. So I can plan my location. I can play my location from, can I say, all the GPS coordinates and all the compass marks, all the places that I will be in the time limit that I should be in when I'm in the field. So I do pre-planning on Stellarium a lot of times. So when I scout a location, I like mostly know where the object is gonna be, but before I go there, if I forget it or if I do something, so I just take notes on Stellarium, like really quick processing, like really quick planning, and then I go to the location.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's continue with the light pollution.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to talk about light pollution and really focus on that because it's a big deal. It's like enemy number one for astrophotographers, light pollution. Um, it's bad. It's bad on every level. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your like sleep cycle. It's bad for wildlife, for the environment. It's costly. It wastes a lot of energy, and it's bad for astrophotographers because it deprives you from that connection with the night sky, from that night sky heritage. So yeah, I mean it's bad. And like I remember something that happened once. I was with two friends. We were shooting in a wildlife reserve. I think I told you, Hokan, about it. Yeah, it was actually the photo before I changed it with this one. And we were I was with two friends, Tariq and Tariq, who said hi earlier. He's a very good, he's an excellent photographer. and Muhammad, who's also an excellent photographer. And we were out shooting in a wildlife reserve, and it's so hard to get in, and we had to get a special permit, and Mo had to pull so many strings, and it's and we were having so much high expectations. And the landscape itself is gorgeous, and it's like a dream to shoot there. So we went there, and the sky. I mean, it was glared out. It was a disappointment because I couldn't make. Out of all the pictures I took, I maybe made like only one out of them. So yeah, I think that there was a village or something nearby, or I can't remember, but there was something that totally glared out the sky. So that was like I don't want to say a bad experience or a disappointment, but you have so much high expectations, and this is how light pollution ends up hurting you as photographers. So the reason I replaced this image with it is because this image was taken in 2020, and if I had taken it in 2019, it would have been impossible. The reason is, I read an article about a month ago, and I really felt it because it was saying about I think astronomers or scientists, I can't remember exactly, but they were saying that the scientists had felt a decrease in pollution in general, and in light pollution specifically, since the beginning of the pandemic, because special measures have been taken and etc. So I was wondering if that was true or not, and it got me thinking that yes, it is true, because that photo, I mean, it was possible to take, and like 2 years ago, this is actually on the way to my hometown, and each time I'm going, I drop by like to take a photo or two, or just like check how the sky is, or anything. And like in 2018 and 19, you couldn't see anything anymore. There was no Milky Way. In 2016 or 17, there was like still a very faint Milky Way. But in 2019, you could see nothing. I took a shot and there was nothing.
That's interesting.
So yeah, exactly. So when I took this shot in 2020, I was like really pleasantly surprised. And it happened that in the summer, we used to have a lot of power cuts. And, the special measures for the pandemic and everything going on. So I'm not saying that, pandemics and power cuts are ideal scenarios, but it's just to point out that with a little management and control, it could improve the situation. It could improve the situation.
Well, let's hope so. I just wanted to add one thing. You started when you started. You said that it is our biggest enemy, because the reason behind that is it is actually man-made. Like none the other factors are man-made, human-made. So we have the lunar cycle. It depends on the moon. We cannot control it. This is the only thing that we can control, and I think, and most of the astrophotographers and most of the sensitive people think that we should control it. And we can do it. It is an easy way, and I believe you will be explaining us detail in the next slide.
Yeah. So this is the light pollution map. It's an indicator of light pollution in the all over the world, and it has the hybrid layer that you can easily adjust. So you can see all over the light, the indication of light pollution. I put Turkey and Lebanon here so that you can see, and you have the desert, and the Syrian desert. You can see the Syrian desert. So you have an idea of how light pollution is affecting. Like it's really contained in cities, but the further out you go, the less light pollution you have. So, like in Lebanon, light pollution, we don't have any dark skies anymore. Zero. Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes, I'm here. By the way, I have been to Syrian desert, before the war. There are so beautiful places there. I have been to Palmyra. There is a very ancient city, beautiful ancient city in the middle of Syrian desert. And in terms of night sky, it's amazing. Yeah, unfortunately, but still in Turkey we have some good points, as you can see. Even, for instance, I live in Ankara, almost like 6 to 8 million inhabitants. If I drive like 50 to 100 kilometers towards south, I can reach Bortle 2. Where the Salt Lake is. But of course, when we are saying Bortle 2, it's on right on top, not like on the horizon, but it is still very impressive. You are living in a very big city and only driving 50 to 100 kilometer, then you are away from light pollution. That is very impressive, actually.
I don't think we have Borta 2 in Lebanon. I don't think we have that anymore.
Yeah, that's why you have to come to Turkey.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah, Maroon and other friends, we would love to meet you guys, and and of course, we would love to have some stellar experiences all together.
Yeah, and you're coming to Lebanon. If you're not coming to shoot, you're going to have
Eat.
Lebanese.
Yeah, they often say that Lebanese food is very good.
As Maroon said.
if Maroon is watching, he will laugh.
I would love to taste.
And decide for yourself.
Yeah, well, I really love Lebanese food, but it is something else. So let's go to last topic. And if you have not something to say about light pollution, maybe if you have some last words.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. It's almost 2 hours now. No, don't be sorry. It is what it is. It has to be like this. But yeah. So as you are into wide field astrophotography, the composition is really important, right? Because it is actually related to night sky, so it is related to science, but there is also art, and composition comes in when we are talking about art. So what we are shooting should look good to people's eyes. That's where composition comes in.
Well, yes, it should look good to people's eyes, but it should look good to your eyes also, yes. Look, you're saying that it's art, but these composition skills, people, I don't know how people acquire them. Some people acquire them uh, either by taking art courses or having an artistic background, or like I was talking about that with Okan last time. And because we're both architects, I was telling him that I think I've acquired the composition skills because I studied fine arts for like 6 years, and he was telling me the same. But I have so many friends that don't have this artistic background, but that they've acquired these skills either by experience, or I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I think composition, yeah, it has to be, you need to have these skills, but most of all, it needs sensibility. I think it needs a lot of sensibility, artistic sensibility.
Yeah. So let's go to next slide.
Yeah.
So here in this slide, the aspect ratio. Of course, you can pick one of the aspect ratios for your photo, and of course, it depends on what you want to emphasize in your photo. So, what is aspect ratio all about?
Yeah, aspect ratio is the proportional relation between the height and the width of the image. Okay, the camera sensors, they now come in the aspect ratio of 3:2. But yeah, so it's the ideal format for landscapes. But and especially that it's the closest to the golden ratio, so it's the most appealing to the eyes.
Yeah.
It's really good for landscapes because it allows you to take the most of the landscape in that area. But if you want if you wanna like panoramic landscape, you can crop it to the 16:9 aspect ratio. But it's not. It's some people think that 16:9 is wider, while it's not. It's just a crop from the 3:2. So yeah, so they're not they're not taking a wider shot. Yeah, because some people
here actually again personal preferences comes in. Some people like 3:2. Some people like 16:9. There is the personal preferences here.
I think it's the composition that will dictate the aspect ratio. At the end, that's what. But there's also the fact that landscapes will differ than portrait, because when you have the portrait format, the 3:2 will sometimes appear to be very long, and you will end up with dead spaces on the top or on the bottom. Now, if you're shooting like a vertical Milky Way, you will need every inch of that photo. But sometimes if you're not filling the whole, you're gonna end up with dead spaces, and so some people prefer to crop it to 3:4 or so. I find that proportion very nice for a landscape for a portrait format. I like that proportion personally. So yeah, basically that's it. There's a 1:1 aspect ratio, the square. I don't like it personally. I don't know why.
I don't either, really.
Yeah.
Like you said, for landscape, I like 16:9 because it's wide. I like actually panoramic pictures. For portrait, 16:9 doesn't look so nice. It's really tall, and most of the time there are some dead zones in the picture. But for landscape, it is okay. So, like you said, you have to you have to pick your aspect ratio according to your composition, actually. And of course, even if you take in one aspect ratio, you can crop out and change the aspect ratio according to what you want to see, according to the most beautiful, or let's say, the way you want to show the things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next slide. And here, yeah, so framing the composition. So you have your camera, you have your lens. Of course, depending on your lens, you have different field of view. So how do you compose how do you frame your composition?
Okay. Most of the time, if you want to emphasize a certain area or certain objects in your composition, you might want to frame your image in order to create a focal point on these objects or that target. In the first photo that I showed, I framed the mountain, the snowy mountain, with the line of trees, and that cloud, that passing cloud. And so they all created like a circle between the circle around Jupiter and Venus, the planets, and that Milky Way, the rising Milky Way, beyond them. So that created a focal point on the planets, and that's what I was trying to show, the planets. And
Yeah.
that's how it works, the frame. In the lower photo, the bottom photo, it was the same concept, that framing it with the elements of the nature, and of course the target was the Milky Way above. But instead of the snowy mountain below, I tried to play with the reflections, like having a lake and the reflection of the mountain, at the end. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so here, for instance, it is not like 3:1. It's not like the golden ratio. The lake and the rest of the photo is almost half to half.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't. What I'm trying to say is, you don't have to follow that rule all the time. For instance, this photo looks fantastic as it is. Without the golden ratio.
I don't follow proportions at all. I believe that you should do what you feel is right.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't include the proportion sector in that in the presentation, because it's very subjective.
Yeah.
What you think is nice, others may think it's not. So at the end, so you should do what you think is right, what feels right. So if you feel that this photo is nice, with it accomplished the right, if you think it's a proportion or something, then خلاص, it's fine. You don't need to think about proportions or anything else.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move. Yeah. So here, this is very important actually, because when we are teaching, astrophotography, we always talk about using and reading histogram. Okay. Of course, there is no histogram here in this picture, but the one the one you used as silhouettes, the trees. For instance, if you had a histogram for these pictures, you would have seen a histogram laying on the left-hand side mostly. We say that we don't like this histogram because there is a black clipping here, and there is no. There are some pixels in your picture that wasn't exposed to light at all, and you cannot bring out any details from these pixels, right? But I always add but. If you want a photo like this, the ones that we are seeing here in the bottom ones, if you want to have a silhouette or something in the picture, then this is the histogram that you're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're, I usually don't like silhouettes. I prefer my photo to be well exposed. I don't know why. I don't like the blacks, but it's not wrong to explore several options, and that's what I did in this case. That's the same cedar tree in the three photos, but in the first one I just took a landscape photo where you see the mountain and the Milky Way, the curves, they're complementing each other, and
And the mountain is illuminated. You can see details in the mountain and the trees.
Exactly, and they're all like converging into like a focal point, which is that tree, that cedar tree. So it's a different approach, and you see it. The perception is different, but in the silhouette photos, I went for a different focal length, and the it allowed me, like the portrait version, it allowed to show more sky, and that sky, that area was like, it was dark enough. We usually go there because you can get more out of it than other places. And that night there was a power cut, so we were lucky. And so yeah, we were lucky. So yeah, it helped expose those like really colorful objects in the sky. The more you have sky, the more and the portrait format, it helped expose more sky. But in the landscape format, there is little sky, so the focus was more on the ground. As astrophotographers, we prefer the first the portrait format, because it allows you to show
more sky rather than the
sky,
ground.
more objects. I don't think the second has any real value as astronomical value. But no, it's worth noting.
Well, actually, it depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on the scenery and the landscape. Because if there's something that you want to emphasize on the foreground, on the ground, then you can emphasize the ground. Then you can forget a little bit about the sky. But if you want to emphasize something on the sky, for instance, there might be a conjunction or something, then you go for the sky. It all depends, actually.
It depends. Yeah, I was talking about this case, but I was just experimenting there. But no, yeah, definitely. It goes back to each case. Yes, just like you said. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let's move on. So axiality and focal points. Here you actually use some arcs, and also you use some triangles and Milky Way to put it in a nice composition. And like you said, you like illuminating your foreground, and I personally also like this rather than silhouettes.
Yeah, exactly. In this case, this photo was taken at the September equinox, so the Milky Way was already vertical at 90 degrees. Yeah, so that verticality, it created an axis by itself, and you know it focuses on the spot where the line of trees and the road they converge.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was the main aim of that composition.
Okay. Okay. Yes. The next slide. So here also,
Yeah.
this time you're using diagonals, and it's often used in composition. The diagonals, even in normal photography.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this photo was taken about mid late May or 1st of June, I think. But that Milky Way was like tilted at 60 degrees. And with the foreground, you know, with the diagonal foreground, it created like opposing angles. And that's what helped them pop them both up, you know, equally. So they have now equal values in the photo, and you see the light pollution in the back. That always pisses me off in that photo. But you know, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. Well, actually, in this one, yeah, it looks it doesn't look so nice. But there are times that you can use light pollution as an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is also another. Yeah. This one. This is also another example using of diagonals.
Yeah. This is how I use the diagonal as an outline for the foreground because I want it to be imposing and keep the background or the sky like scattered and really toned down because I wanted the foreground to pop up and you know playing with the lines of the sea and stuff. I just tried to play like with the geometry of the photo and the elements. So yeah, it's very like minimalistic geometry.
Yeah, and here also we can see annotations of the constellations, stars. This is something I really like, and I would say, I cannot do it, but you're doing it so well. I really like it.
Why can't you do it?
I don't know. I mean, I've never tried, but it feels like it is a little bit hard, like even once we talked about this and you sent me some documents, but I've never done it.
Okay, if you ever need to do it, I can do it for you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, composing with curves.
Yeah.
Yeah. That location, we always go to that location, as a group of friends. And I had that photo in mind for a while, but then I decided to take it when the moon was lighting the foreground well enough. So I set my camera up at an angle where I knew the pine trees would create an arc that would complement the star trails, they're concentric, so the arc would complement them. So that was basically it. You keep your shutter, you take multiple exposures, and that's how you get your star trails.
Yeah.
And the final one. Yeah, that
Yes.
was taken actually in mid-July at astronomical twilight, and yeah, and you can see the trees, how they create this the line of trees create this curve, and the Milky Way, it was just above that mountain, and I really liked how it was the movement was like complementing the curve, and how it created like an overall dynamic dynamic movement in the photo. So yeah, that was taken mid-July. We had an event in the Cedars of Shuf. It was a big that was 2 years ago. We had, because this year we did nothing because of the pandemic, but in 2019 the summer was full of events. We didn't stop. We had La Nuit des Étoiles. We had Astro Imagine. We had a lot of activities with Universelle. So yeah, it was jam packed. So that was one of the photos that I took on La Nuit des Étoiles.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one. And maybe we finished slides, but what I could say is you don't generally go for stacking or multiple pictures. You like the single shots, right?
Yeah, I do.
Why? It's a hard question, I know, but it's a preference, of course, and it has to be accepted as it is. But there has to be a reason.
I feel that I think I don't want to say, but I feel that single shots may be more. I don't want to say more authentic, but
pure, maybe.
Maybe pure. And I really like the challenge that comes with nailing the exposure and nailing all these settings. Then with the post-processing, it's like sometimes it's really a challenge.
It is very challenging.
Yeah, it's very challenging, and I really enjoy that. I'm not saying that I might not, start taking longer exposures for the foreground and blending and stacking. I might do that tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, if you can't change your mind, why use it? But yeah, but I mean, look, all these techniques exist, and as a photographer,
it's up to you to pick any of them.
You're free to explore, and this hobby is just for fun, so don't stress out. Don't I mean, just enjoy it. There's no pressure in it. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, personally, I used to like for deep sky astrophotography. I used to like, and I would always say it. I used to like RGB, technique more. But now I started to lean towards the narrow bands because I find it better now, and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Who knows? I will change.
Yeah, definitely.
And the beauty of this hobby is ever changing in terms of equipments, the techniques you're using, the techniques, and everything you learn every day. It is the beauty of this hobby, actually.
It is. And nothing's. I mean,
absolute. Nothing is certain.
Yeah. I mean, it's you can explore all of them. It's nothing negates or dismisses the other. No, you can. Yeah, I mean, if you're into like composite, doesn't mean that single exposures are wrong. Or if I'm
Yeah.
into single exposures, doesn't mean that composites are wrong. But it does mean that faking a photo is not acceptable. You know, there's
Yeah.
a fine line. Yeah, there's a fine line. So I mean, yeah, that's mainly it.
Mhm. Yeah, Rita, thanks a lot for this beautiful presentation, and really you prepared very nicely. Thanks a lot. It has been an honor to have you here, and we are expecting and we are ready to support the Naked Singularity anytime you want to start. There is no push here. Anytime you want to start, we are here to support you. And I'm sure there are many, many more people. Yeah,
we would like to see you back in the Naked Singularity.
Definitely.
Yeah. But of course, it depends on your mood, really. I mean, when you don't feel like it, don't do it, you know. For instance, I don't, if I don't feel like processing photos, I don't do it. Because then it is not, it doesn't, you know, go for the aim, you know. You don't have to push yourself because it's a hobby. You have to do it when you feel like doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been really nice getting to know you guys. I've known you, Mustafa, from the internet and from Instagram, but I didn't get to know you until recently. And
Yeah.
you guys are great, really. I really enjoyed
Thank
the
you.
experience.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
we also enjoy your
Company.
presence here, and also I'm sure there are more people that you were talking about from Lebanon, like Khalil,
Mohammed.
who else? Yeah, there are
Mhm.
other people. Also, Marun always mentions. We would love to meet them one day when this
Pandemic is
pandemic
over.
is over.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if there are any questions. Tarek says, great presentation.
Thank you.
Rock this stream, very inspiring and instructive. Thanks a lot. Marun was laughing silently. Yeah, Marun,
About the
you know,
Lebanese food.
Lebanese food. They often say Lebanese food is delicious. Such a fascinating talk and discussion all around. Fantastic talk, Rita. Chirac says. Thanks a lot for watching. If we bored you somehow, because it's been 2.5 hours for us. Typhoon Bash says thank you,
Thank you
and
too.
thanks for contributions, your questions. It has been an amazing talk, another talk. Yeah, I let you guys finish.
It was great having you here, Rita, and thanks to all the people watching from YouTube. I think it was a very productive, stellar talk, and hopefully we see you at the next talk.
Please don't forget to like, make a comment for this video, and share if you can, so more people can watch.
And if you also missed some parts of the live stream, you can always watch from the YouTube channel as well. Thank you for being here tonight, guys. I wish you all a good night.